Chongqing isn't just a city, it's a phenomenon, a place that seems to defy the very laws of geography, architecture, and human endurance. Perched on the meeting point of the Yangtze and Jialing rivers, this megacity looks like something straight out of a futuristic film, where skyscrapers rise from mist-covered mountains, highways twist through clouds, and entire neighborhoods perch on cliffs hundreds of meters above the valley floor. But what makes Chongqing truly extraordinary isn't just its vertical skyline or its surreal bridges. It's the fact that this city was never meant to exist in the first place, at least not here. Because everything about its geography, its terrain, and even its climate screams impossible. And yet, it thrives as one of the fastest-growing, most resilient urban ecosystems on Earth. Chongqing's story begins in the mountains. Unlike Beijing or Shanghai, this city isn't built on a plain or a coastal delta. It's carved right into the folds of southwestern China's rugged hills, a terrain so steep that early settlers had to build homes directly into the slopes. Some neighborhoods are still connected by stairways that climb for kilometers. Others disappear into tunnels or emerge on bridges that seem to float above the fog. Locals call it the Mountain City, and if you've ever been here, you know why. Standing on one of its many elevated roads, you might look down at what seems like the ground, only to realize that you're standing on the roof of another building. But behind this chaotic beauty lies a story of necessity. For centuries, Chongqing was geographically isolated, far from China's coastal powerhouses and locked away by natural barriers. Yet, its position on the Yangtze River gave it one priceless advantage: access to inland trade routes. When the Chinese government decided to push development inland, Chongqing became the gateway. It was chosen to spearhead the country's Go West policy, a plan to balance China's economic growth by turning remote regions into new hubs of industry, technology, and logistics. And that's when things started to change. Fast. In just a few decades, Chongqing transformed from a regional outpost into one of the largest municipalities in the world, covering over 82,000 square kilometers. That's bigger than Austria. Its population exploded to over 32 million, making it one of the most populated urban areas on the planet. Yet, the most mind-bending part of this transformation isn't the size. It's the layout. Because Chongqing is not one city. It's hundreds of smaller cities stitched together by mountains, bridges, and rivers. Over 4,000 bridges span its waterways, more than any other city in the world. These aren't simple crossings. Some stretch over 2 kilometers long, hanging hundreds of meters above the river below. The city's iconic Kensemen Bridge, for instance, connects 2 hillsides in a single, breathtaking sweep, while the Kayuanba Yangtze River Bridge carries both cars and trains, stacked in layers like an engineering sculpture. From above, the skyline looks almost unreal, a maze of steel and concrete gliding through mist. But the true genius of Chongqing lies underground. Building a metro system in a city like this should have been impossible. The terrain shifts constantly, the mountains are unpredictable, the rivers cut through the city at impossible angles. And yet, engineers found a way. The result is one of the world's most complex and fascinating metro networks, a system where trains pass through skyscrapers, cross rivers on bridges, and vanish into mountains within seconds. The Chongqing Rail Transit (CRT) network spans over 500 kilometers, with 12 lines currently operating and more under construction. The most famous of them all is Line 2, the one that passes directly through a residential building in the city's Liziba district. Here, the train literally enters the 6th floor of an apartment complex before emerging on the other side. When images of this went viral, the world thought it was fake. But for locals, it's just another day in Chongqing. The reason behind such unconventional engineering comes down to pure necessity. The city's mountainous landscape left no room for expansion, horizontally at least. So, Chongqing built vertically. Trains move on suspended tracks above roads. Skyscrapers are connected by skywalks, and parking lots spiral downwards into the mountainside. Even its highways are a marvel of modern engineering. The Huangjuewen Overpass, one of the world's most intricate interchanges, looks like a mechanical spider. 5 layers of roads, 20 ramps, and traffic moving in every direction at once. It's chaotic, yes, but it works. a perfect reflection of Chongqing itself. And the question everyone asks when they see it is, how do people live here? The answer is, remarkably well. Despite its challenges, Chongqing has adapted in ways few other cities could. Because of its verticality, apartments often open directly onto roads or bridges, depending on which floor you're on. What's a basement level for one building might be a penthouse view for another. Residents have learned to navigate this maze intuitively, often using elevators and escalators more than cars. It's said that people here develop an almost sixth sense for navigating levels and altitudes. But this resilience goes beyond architecture. It's cultural. Chongqing people, known as some of the toughest in China, have lived for centuries in this difficult environment. The region's humid, fog-covered climate has earned it the nickname the City of Fog, with more than 100 foggy days each year. Temperatures can swing dramatically, and in summer, it's one of the hottest cities in China, often topping 40 °C. Yet, despite all that, life here pulses with energy. Part of that energy comes from Chongqing's economic boom. Since being separated from Sichuan province in 1997 and designated a municipality directly under the central government, the city's GDP has skyrocketed. Today, it's a major manufacturing base, home to automotive giants, electronics factories, and logistics networks that feed China's vast inland economy. The Chongqing Free Trade Zone, launched in 2017, aims to make it a central player in the Belt and Road Initiative, linking Western China to Europe through rail and trade corridors. But the rise of Chongqing isn't just about economics. It's about symbolism. In a country where most megacities sprawl along the coast, Chongqing represents the heartland. A vision of what's possible when geography is no longer a limitation. Its skyline, cascading over hills and rivers, stands as a physical manifestation of human adaptability. Every bridge, every train tunnel, every layer of highway says the same thing: we can build anywhere. Still, not everything here is picture perfect. The city faces serious challenges, from landslides triggered by heavy rains to air pollution trapped by the surrounding mountains. Urban planners must constantly balance expansion with stability, ensuring that skyscrapers don't tip the balance of the landscape itself. And as the population keeps growing, so does the strain on resources and transportation networks. Yet, despite these challenges, Chongqing continues to innovate. Smart city initiatives are being tested here at a scale few others can match. AI-driven traffic systems, vertical green spaces, and sustainable transport options designed to make this mountain metropolis more livable. Even the fog that once cloaked the skyline is being reimagined, used to create ethereal nightscapes with illuminated bridges glowing through the mist. Perhaps the most striking part of Chongqing's story is its duality, a place both futuristic and ancient. Walk through the city and you'll find neon-lit skyscrapers right beside centuries-old temples and tea houses. You'll hear construction cranes in the distance while elders play mahjong in narrow alleyways. It's a living contradiction, where progress and tradition coexist on different levels, quite literally. For outsiders, it can be overwhelming. For locals, it's home. A place where every staircase tells a story, every bridge connects not just land, but generations. When you think of megacities shaping the 21st century, you might picture Dubai's futuristic skyline, Singapore's green innovation, or New York's global pulse. But Chongqing, it's the city that shouldn't exist, and yet somehow it does. Against impossible odds, it thrives, evolves, and inspires the world with one simple message: human imagination has no limits. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Chongqing, the city that redefines what's possible, make sure to subscribe for more stories that uncover the world's boldest mega projects. Your support helps us bring you closer to the places reshaping our planet's future.